Yes, that's right. We're doing a Mega Man X deck feature. And I know what you're thinking. There's a Mega Man X character in this card game? Like, isn't this a Mega Man EXE, Mega Man Battle Network thing? Yeah, I know, crazy, right? But believe it or not, there was, it seems, plans to have characters from other series come into this game. Obviously evidenced by the fact that they released Mega Man X and even had plans for Zero, which was kind of like, they hinted at that in a document released by the Cypher years ago when the game was still alive. But yeah, there were plans for Zero. We never got him. I think we just know his stat lines. But yeah, it seems like that was the plan. I guess they were going to do the Rockman X dive thing where they were just going to bring characters from every series, every franchise. So we would have probably gotten characters from Classic. We would have probably gotten characters from Zero, Legends, all that stuff. I guess just to bring fans in from all of those eras because, you know, some people are more Mega Man X fans than they are Battle Network. So I guess that was the thinking, which makes sense, you know. But yeah, just never happened. Again, as you know, the game was very short-lived, and we just never saw that stuff come out. But we did get Mega Man X. He did come out in a video game. I think it was a PlayStation 2 game at the time. I think it was on GameCube too. Mega Man X Command Mission, which is really a garbage game, honestly. I mean, it's an RPG, which is like already fucking barf. I know there's some weirdos out there who actually like it, but they're fucking weirdos. So, you know, can you really trust them, right? But anyways, that's how you would get this card. He was a promo in that game, and he definitely looks cool, and it was super crazy, right? Oh wow, we're gonna get Mega Man X and other X characters in this game, so it's pretty lit. Not gonna lie. Unfortunately, he never ever got his kit. I'm assuming he was gonna get a kit like everybody else does, but he just doesn't have any cards you can use. So for that reason, everybody kind of ignores X. He's just more of a collector's item, and people just don't. There's nothing. Again, you can't build anything because there's no theme, there's no kit, right? But I decided to do so anyways because I looked at the flip side of that. The flip side being because he has no kit, that kind of liberates you and lets you use whatever you want to build him, right? Often, what happens, at least with me, is you look at a kit and you kind of get distracted. You kind of like, I have to play the kit, I have to use the emblem cards because, you know, it makes sense to. But because that's not here, that dynamic's not in play, you kind of just get opened up to being able to interpret the deck however you want. And in some sense, that liberates you to come up with something more creative. And so I decided to come up with a Mega Man X deck that I was hoping would work, and it does work, it seems, because here's what happened. I came up with this deck. We had a switcheroo tournament a couple of months ago on our Discord server. In case you're not sure what that is, a switcheroo tournament is you build the decks, but somebody else has to play them. So we all played each other's decks, and yeah, people really liked the Mega Man X the deck I came up with. They had a lot of fun, and they were winning. Like, it actually does the job quite well. So I got a lot of positive feedback, and that's why I was like pretty confident showing that to you today in today's video. So real quick, it's a mono yellow deck. That's kind of the big, like, the theme I was trying to go for basically is, you know, his hyper armor from Mega Man X3, the one, and if you play the game right, you could get the golden version of it. That's kind of what I was going for. So the idea is, like, on his own, he kind of sucks because Mega Man X usually sucks on his own, but when he gets his armors right, that's when he becomes like non-stop. And I wanted to give him that golden hyper armor by making him a mono yellow deck. That's kind of what I was going for. And I'm just, you know, obviously surprised it actually works well. It's not just an aesthetic theme thing. It actually holds up quite well. So that's kind of the deal. That's what he's about. And we're going to start with him. That's the superstar of our deck. He's got one def, which really sucks, but there are cards in our deck that I'm going to show you that help us take advantage of that. But yeah, this is the superstar of the deck, Mega Man X, Invincible, stat line 312. We'll just put him in the middle. And as always, we'll start with the resources and work our way up to the events and battle chips. So first things first, we're playing 4 copies of Focus. This is pretty much a staple in today's meta in 2023. It's a considered a colorless card. It's not, I know it's yellow, but like you can literally splash this in any deck and it just gives you the speed because the power gauge is everything in this game, in my opinion. And being able to have more of a power gauge than your opponent and getting to that faster just puts you at an advantage. You can play all your heavy hitters faster, so it's a free to play. You can just drop it as soon as you draw it. So yeah, we'll play 4 of those. Obviously, we're going to play 4 of those, right? Just build these over here. Okay, cool. Next up, we got 4 Cyber Warriors. This is a 4 Destiny and a free to play, just like Focus. And you burn 2 power to destroy an opponent's resource, or a resource, I should say. I like it. I like having the flexibility of just being able to pop something on the board I'm not liking. Maybe it's interfering with my plan. So, and it's got that 4 destiny, so I like it for that reason. So we play 4 of those. Next up, we got 4 Doubting Navi. This is discard a card to burn an opponent's power. So this gives us control over their power gauge. We can slow them down. Again, the power gauge, in my opinion, is everything. So if you slow down their power gauge, you take it away from them, that means they got to spend more turns building it up so they can play their cards. So I like that. That's why I play 4 Doubting Navis for that reason. Sometimes I change. It depends on the mood you catch him in. Sometimes I alternate it between this and Let Him Have It. It's another card that burns a power, but you just burn your power to do that instead of discarding a card. At the moment, I'm fancying Doubting Navi more, but that can always change. But you can also use that as an alternative. Really, they're like almost the same card. They've got 2 Destiny, free to play. It's really a matter of which cost is. What would you rather have? Would you rather burn a power or discard a card? And I feel like discarding a card I feel better about that than burning a power. So next up, we got 4 Charge Forward. This is kind of like Focus in that it lets us speed up our powering up abilities. So it's discard a yellow card, not a problem for this deck, to place a card from your discard pile in your power gauge. So you just stack some high destiny cards, whether that's like a 5. 5 is the highest card we got in this deck. But yeah, you just stack your high destiny cards. And, it also lets you just build up your power gauge faster. So pretty potent, pretty cool. So we play 4 of those. Next, we got 4 It's Electric, what is becoming like a favorite in our meta because of just how powerful it is. It's discard 2 cards to burn 3 of an opponent's power. So really sets them back, really crazy, kind of like Focus. It's really a colorless card. You can play this as any deck. You don't have to necessarily play yellow. And again, just discard 2 and you really set your opponent back. So yeah, we're definitely playing 4 of those. Next up, we've got what I consider It's Electric's little or big brother. Let's say big brother. This is Smackdown. It's a 5 Destiny, which I love, and it's discard 2 cards to destroy 2 of your opponent's resources. So It's Electric takes care of the power gauge, and Smackdown takes care of the resources. So that's why I call them brothers. Now, you may be asking, hey, why aren't you playing Reckless, which is a yellow resource, but it's discard 2 yellow cards to destroy 3. You're like, why not play that? Obviously, that's better, right? You'd think that, at least I certainly did, but in practice, I just did not actually like that cost, that specificity of 2 yellow cards. We have a lot of yellow, yeah, no problem, but I just hated it because sometimes I'd rather just discard a battle chip or some other colored card, maybe it's a green, because the yellows are stuff I want to keep. So I didn't like that in practice. I know, you get the extra pop, the 3 resources. For a lot of people, that's a no-brainer. I just didn't like it. I just prefer the flexibility of just discard 2 of any cards. I just prefer that. That's just me. I tried Reckless. I didn't love it. I know I'm in the minority. Some people just love Reckless over it, but that's just me. Again, you do whatever works best for you. But for me, Smackdown makes the most sense. And yeah, like I said, it's like It's Electric and Focus. This is kind of a colorless card. You can play this in any deck. You don't have to play yellow. So it's also cheaper and easier to get access to than Reckless. Reckless is a secret you have to get in the power-up set. So this is just more accessible too. So I think that's the better card overall for me. Next up, we've got 3. Elect Team. This is Elect Team. This is a style change card. So it's a 4 Destiny, which is great. You need a yellow on the board before you can play it, but otherwise there's no power gauge requirements. As soon as you got one of these yellows on, you can just drop it. And the way it works is during each of your draw phases, if the only resources, including your opponents, that's important to keep in mind, if the only resource, including your opponents, are yellow, you may power up an additional time. So we've got a lot of yellow, right? And that's great, but and this gives us the ability to power up as soon as we've got some yellows on the board. Obviously, you're like, well, isn't that tricky if your opponent's playing different colors? Yes, which is why we play cards like Smackdown and cards like Cyber Warrior, so that we can just keep things off the boards if we want, and make way for Elect Team. Because once this thing's on the board and you're just powering up twice, like it's really powerful. So like it's worth the effort to just keep the board as yellow as possible, so you can just keep doubling up your power ups every draw phase. So I only play 3. 4 is just a little too much, I find. 2 is not enough, so the sweet spot for me is 3. Again, this is like a style change. This is like a sticky resource in the sense that you can't really spend it the way you can Focus or Cyber Warrior. So once it's on the board, it usually stays unless your opponent gets rid of it for you. And yeah, so then you end up in a situation where you're drawing multiple copies, you can't do anything. So I just think 3 is better. You'll see that most people, when it comes to style change cards, at least the resources, whether it's Aqua Custom, Heat Guts, Wood Shield, or Elect Team, most people just find that 3 is the perfect number. So that's the justification for that. I'm also playing 3 Meteors. This is a virus card. The way viruses work, oh my god, is that unlike most resources, you can actually play multiple copies of the virus as soon as you play 1 on the board. So that's kind of like it's kind of a cool little reference to how they work in the games and all that. But you drop 1, and then you could find all the other copies of that virus from your deck and play them on your board. So you can essentially get a board full of that color, whichever. And in our case, it's yellow. So you play 1 Meteor and you just fish out the other 2. And the reason we want this is because we have a lot of cards that require 3 to 4 yellows, and we don't want to be in a situation where we're digging and we're trying to get that extra requirement. This just helps us struggle less by giving us like immediately. Now, of course, the caveat is you have to hopefully be in a situation where those viruses are still in your deck. Sometimes they get milled, sometimes they end up in your power gauge. So that can happen, but certainly because we've got these cards that have higher requirements, like 3, 4 yellows in some cases, we definitely want something that makes it a lot easier for us to meet those requirements. So I'm still experimenting. I may go back to using 4 Meteors, but 3 is good. 2 is a little it's too little for my taste. 1 is just silly. I don't know why you want to play 1 virus. The whole point of playing virus is that you play play sets or multiples, right? I'm trying 3 for now. Maybe it'll go back to 4, but yeah, 3's a pretty good number. Again, that's kind of the sweet spot sometimes with weird cards like that. Next ones, we got some green resources. We got 4 Woodmans. This just lets us take a card from our discard pile into hand. We've got that 1 Death, right? So we're just milling all the time. And so if any of our key cards ends up in our discard pile, we just want to be able to fish for it really easily. Next, we've got 4 Glides. So this is take a card from your deck into hand, and then you shuffle your deck. You're probably thinking, wait, 5 power gauge requirement, 4 power gauge requirement? That's kind of crazy. How are you, isn't that like risky stuff? Like, don't you need to wait a long time to be able to do that? Yes and no. And I'm going to show you some cool magic where you don't have to wait around like most people. And that involves this guy here, which I consider the superstar of the deck, which is Elect Team Activate. This is a style change card in an event form. This one's got a nice 5 Destiny, only 2 yellow requirement, no power gauge requirement at all. Fantastic. And it's discard an ally to perform its spend text twice. So I don't know if I need to spell it out for you, but like obviously with Glide or Woodman, that's nuts. That's very, very ridiculous, because you get to not only do you not have to wait till turn 4 or turn 5, because all you need are 2 yellows, and we got plenty of free to plays to pull that off quickly, but you get to use their effect twice. So you get 2 cards from your discard pile if you use Woodman. It's like a blue battler, but without having to burn 3 power. Excellent, right? And if you use it with Glide, you get to fish out 2 cards from your deck and put it into your hand. You can even use Elect Team Activate and Glide or Woodman to add another Elect Team Activate back into your hand and take a second card. It's nuts. People kept telling me they loved this dynamic when they played the game, when they played the deck in the Switcheroo tournament from months ago. Really, yeah, like this is super cool. And really, like, there's other allies you can use, but these are really the best ones in my opinion. So, yeah, this really makes it easy to like get whatever key cards you need to like push back on the opponent or win the game in some cases. Next, we've got a couple more. So yeah, we got 4 technical difficulties. Obviously, this is a staple. One of the main reasons people play yellow is to be able to use this card. 4 Destiny, 2 yellow requirement, free to play. And you destroy resource very straightforwardly. So again, that helps us with our keeping Elect Team active, and just clears the board of any pesky resources that are 1, giving your opponent the ability to play their cards, and 2, threatening your strategies, whatever they may be. And we're also going to be playing 2 Method for Well-Being. So this is a bit of a crazy card. You need 4 yellow. It's been tough sometimes, but again, big reason why we're playing Meteor is to make it easy to hit these requirements. And obviously it has that requirement, because look what it does, right? You power up until your power gauge is full, and then you burn all of your opponent's power. I mean, that's just kind of stupid, right? Very, very like game changing. you've completely set your opponent back and you give yourself full power gauge, right? Pretty nuts, right? Usually you're going to win the game if you pull this off, in my opinion. And if you do it twice, I mean, it's, you know. We're only playing 2. 3, 4 is clunky. You're going to draw them. Like, you don't want to necessarily draw this and be stuck with it. And that happens very often. We've got Woodman, we've got Glide, and we've got the blessings of Elect Team Activate to really double charge their power. So we can fish for this card whenever we want. So we don't need to play 3 or 4. 2 is, I don't know, I felt 1 was a little too little. So 2 is, felt like 2 was the right number. So yeah, I wanted to have room for some other stuff. So that's why I went with 2. Last but not least, we've got the battle chips. And of course, if you play this game and you know about yellow, you know about Boys Bomb 3. Very controversial card. People want it banned. I'm going to make a video about that actually and discuss whether or not I think that should happen. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, Boys Bomb 3 is probably one of the best battle chips in the game. And for obvious reasons. 1, it's got that nice 5 Destiny. You do need 3 yellow, but that's really not hard to pull off. Again, we've got Mentor, so no problems there. 4 power gauge requirement. And you lose 2 energy, which is really not that big of a cost. Compared to other battle chips where you have to burn pretty much your entire power gauge, losing 2 energy is kind of a joke. And it gives your Navi strength +3 for each card in your power gauge. So, you know, at a minimum, you'll have 12, and if you've got 5 in your power gauge, that's 15, right? The brutalness of this card is the fact that it just costs 2 energy to use, so you can do back-to-back Boys Bomb 3. That's why people want it banned, because you could just, if you play 1 turn and you play it again the next turn, you pretty much win the game, right? So yeah, because we've got Elect Team Activate with Glide Woodman, usually the name of the game is to fish this out and just keep whacking our opponent until they're dead, right? So we're playing 4 until it's banned anyways. We'll see if that happens. I don't think, I'll tell you more about it in the upcoming video, okay? We're also playing 4 Lightning. I love Lightning. It's 4 Destiny, 2 yellow requirement, no power gauge needed. And it just gives us that extra level of control. We've got a nice 3 on Mega Man, but we can also blast to get us up there and just burn through the opponent's power again and just really slow them down, right? So that's why I play that. And lastly, we have 3 energy bombs. So this is a defensive card, a defensive battle chip, I should say. It's got a nice 5. You do need 3 yellow, but again, we've got enough of a layout that makes that easy to pull off. And whenever you lose energy during battle, you place the lost cards into your power gauge instead until it's full. So Mega Man's got a 1. That sucks, but we can use that to our advantage to get ourselves up to a nice big fat power gauge, right? You've probably seen this in my Magnet Man video. I pretty much use this in any deck that's yellow oriented and where the defenses are low. 1 is almost as bad as 0 in my opinion. So, but again, we're gonna use that to our benefit by using Energy Bomb. I don't feel like I like 4 because when you're in the game late, you don't want to necessarily draw them. This is a card you want to draw early, fast, right? Ideally turn 1 with 3 yellows. That's the best case scenario. You don't want to be in a situation where you're drawing them late in the game. And playing 4 of them, I just felt like I would draw them at the end of the game and be like, I can't use this. So 2 just feels like it's too little because I do still want to draw it. So for that reason, I went with 3. And that's pretty much the deck. That's what I got. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? A playable Mega Man X deck. But it's done. It's possible. And I certainly, if you're a Mega Man X fan more than a Mega Man EXE fan, this is one way you could play Mega Man X. And yeah, it's not just a meme card. He's actually pretty good. This is a list you can totally run and get lots and lots of wins out of. So that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care for now.